What we were asking was the peace process, negotiations, should move in tandem with the withdrawal, so that there is no sense of insecurity, anxiety. We've been saying consistently, Pakistan, I've been saying in my engagements, withdrawal is inevitable. Make sure that it is a responsible and orderly withdrawal.
And what we saw on the TV screens...
It was not responsible and not orderly. You see, why was there such a rush? The international community has to weigh the options. One option is engagement as opposed to isolation. You know, we've withdrawn, let's wash our hands, we've done our bit, you know, we leave. That's a dangerous option. That's an option of abandonment of Afghan people, I'm talking of the people. That's the mistake that was committed in the 90s. I would urge the international community not to repeat the same mistake again.
And what will happen if that mistake is repeated?
There will be could lead to a civil war. Things could become chaotic. There could be anarchy, and that will give space to the organizations that we all dread, the international terrorist organization, that we do not want their footprint to grow in Afghanistan.
It sounds to me as though you are urging Western powers to recognize the Taliban as the legitimate rulers of Afghanistan.
No, I'm not doing that. I am saying engage. Why am I saying engage? I'm saying engage because a disengagement, the consequences of disengagement are far worse. Now, look at the initial statements that the Taliban have made. They're positive, they're encouraging. The international community is not sure whether they mean them. Will they implement these pronouncements, or is it just a tactic? Test them.
We do kind of know what the Taliban is like because we saw what they did between 1996 and 2001. There is a catalogue of human rights abuses. You talk about the Taliban, this new Taliban, making positive signs and saying positive things. Do you believe they've changed, and do you believe they can be trusted?
All I can say is I hope they have. I hope they've learned from their mistakes. They've suffered as well. They've been isolated.
We should feel sympathy for the Taliban, is that what you're saying?
No. They should learn. They should have learned from their mistakes. And I think the attitude and the approach that they are demonstrating so far is reflective of a different approach.
So you think they have changed? You think they can be trusted at this moment in time?
What I'm saying is, test them. Test them before trusting them. They've made statements. Let's see if they live up to them. And if they do, then build on it, because the other option is far worse. If they are sensible, they should, in my view, respect international opinion and international norms. Why? They need assistance. They will be in charge. If they will be in charge, they will need humanitarian assistance. They will need financial assistance. Otherwise, you will see an economic collapse. And do we want to see an economic collapse? And if there is an economic collapse, look at the repercussions, look at the consequences that would lead to.
In certain parts of Pakistan, the Taliban flag was raised when the Americans announced the withdrawal. People cheered in the streets. There's also an accusation in many Western capitals that Pakistan sponsored the Taliban, provided strategy for the Taliban, allowed them to cross the border. There are some who are saying that actually in Islamabad, the government here is quite pleased that the Taliban have won. What would you say to those people?
First of all, if there was raising of flags and jubilation, do not forget that there are over 4 million Afghans living in Pakistan. Many have connections with Taliban. They're related, they're families. They have been living here for almost now 4 decades. They want to go back home. And the prospect
So that's what the celebrations were about.
The prospect of returning home obviously, gives you some sense of relief.
And what about the accusation Pakistan was playing a double game? Is there truth in that?
You see, that's nothing new. One has been hearing this for years now.
Is it true?
Pakistan sincerely cooperated with the international community. Pakistan sincerely wanted peace and stability. Why?
Did it cooperate with the Taliban too?
Taliban did not require our cooperation. You see, what people forget, that people were sent from here. They were already there. All the militants were in Afghanistan. The political leadership was sitting in Doha negotiating. The fighters were in Afghanistan. Even before the withdrawal, 40 to 45% of the territory was under their control. They didn't need our nod, consent or help. They were managing their own affairs.